our network. Now, move to the next part is about the writing, right? So in order to write the manuscript or any paper, first you need to prepare yourself also. Get training from university and also the online platform, whatever the platform is possible that you can learn from friend, peer, professor, even junior or senior, right? And you should know the what is the good manuscript is, right? And the structure of the articles. Illustrations, table is very easy for you. Text, you writing text is also easy for you if you know if you have a very good English or other language that you aim to publish. But for figures, more complicated. Right? You look at the figure, but you don't know how to draw it, how to make it. So illustration is so very important, and you should gain some of those skill. For the proper language, if you publish in English, you should have a very good English proficiency profile. And also, if you publish in Spanish or French or other language, Chinese, Vietnamese, if you publish. So proper language is also important. And also, you need to check to follow all the guidelines to be ready to submit to the journals, right? So all of this work, you need to do it when you write the manuscript. The first one I could mention is about the good manuscript. What is a good manuscript? Can be published, could be published in the international journals or any journal you want to publish. So it is in the scope. To do this, you have to investigate the candidate journals and to see what the aim and scope of that journals, whether it's fit to our manuscript and what kind of article they publish, right? They accept to publish. If they only publish the randomized controlled trial, very intervention study, then if you have an observational study, it's not possible to publish there and submit there, it's wasting time. And also readership, who are the author, audience, right, of that journals, researchers, patients, policymakers, or what specific interest group, right? For example, some surgery related journals, all of them are surgeons, right? So the readership there, the audience there is surgeons. Another is related to public health, nutrition, or any other fields. So you need to investigate the readership. Even your topic is very good one, but you have to investigate the taste of the journals, right, and see what they are published these years. And sometimes if you see this they published, this is 5 years ago, 10 years ago, it's no interest any longer for these journals. Right? So you need to look at the very hot topic currently published on their journals. Right? The second point is about whether your manuscript adhere to the publication ethic. This is very important, especially for the medical science, medical and health science study. Not just only the publication ethics, and it's also about the research ethics during your conducting your research, right? So now talking about the publication ethics, you should avoid the plagiarisms of other work. So this one is also very critical. We just have some manuscript published, also review and so published to different journals. And some of my students just check the plagiarism on our university website as a student. So when they are journal, they also check the plagiarism, right? And they will find that, oh, this is a student paper, right? So we have to explain to them that this one is our paper, but we check on our university system. So that's why it appears as a student paper. Some other people, some journals so strict, they don't believe that. So I have to ask the university to delete the data from our university. So the plagiarism, the duplication rate is reduced to the accepted level, right? And avoid the multiple publication of the same work, right? And also never submit your manuscript to more than one journal at a time. Many students have this mistake, and they just submit to 2-3 journals, but then later on figure out that it's waste time. Of course, if you get accepted for one journal and you can say sorry to other journals that we already published, but it wastes time for many other people. You take time from the reviewer, you take time from the editors, right? And it's an ethical issue. So don't submit manuscript to more than one journals at a time. If you got rejection, then you can start to investigate again other journals to see their taste and then modify the format, submit. Okay. Remember to sign, acknowledge other work properly, and also only list the call who made the major contribution to your work. And finally, we need to follow the guideline for author in order to prepare our manuscript properly. And don't waste time for editors. Sometimes if you don't prepare very well, you just say, oh, this is journal asked for freestyle. But they still, like the one who very well prepared and we format according to their journal. It's better, right? That's the first impression. Right, now talking about the article structures, many of you already know that we should follow the MRED, right? And also the whole manuscript completed one is a start from the title, author affiliation, and also abstract keyword, and also the main text, and come with the conclusion, knowledge, and also reference, and also other supplementary document. But different journal, they may ask different order or format, right? And this is mainly if we use the MRED, it's mainly for the original research and also review meta-analysis articles. Some other type, the article is for short communication, responsive, perspective, respondents, and opinion comments, or the structure may change. So we need to follow the guideline of the journal for different type of articles. Okay, the order of the full completed manuscript is like that. But when we start to write a manuscript, the order of writing could be changed, And this is my experience, and also many others, that we start with the analysis, right? This is a manuscript writing, okay? Not a proposal writing, not the grant proposal writing. This is manuscript writing. So the order will start with the analyzing the data, and you can start to polish and also present them in the tables or figures. And then we start writing the results, research or materials, and start to write the discussion and introduction could be at the same time. You may look at the literatures and start to write the discussion. If you found some piece of the work very interesting, which relate closely to our paper, our work, you can put it in introduction. So introduction and discussion you can write at the same time, and then you can come with the conclusion. The last part is about titles, abstract, and keyword. But for me, sometimes I will start with table and figure and immediately writing the title, abstracts. The reason why I will share with you and explain later on. Right, now talk about illustrations. Illustration is very important and very critical because figure and table are most effective way to present your results. Even you start writing the commentary articles or just the short communication articles, if you have figure and table, you have higher impacts. Many people just share it if they look at the table or figure. Results are very important. They are the driving force of the publication. So this you may ask, like, what is the most important part in the manuscript to decide whether the manuscript can be published? So this is the answer, right? Results are very important. not introduction, not discussion, but results. So when you present your table or figure, captions and legends must be detailed enough to make the figure and tables self-explanation. And many people just say, oh, because I already explained in method and main take, so I just briefly put the caption and no need legends for the table. You need to, right? You need to. And no duplicate the result described in the text or other illustrations. Don't duplicate it. Unless there's some added point, then you can do both tables and some figure combined. And there's one here that a picture is worth 1,000 words. Okay, so use as much as possible, put all of the data into the tables or figures. Right, now talk about the language. If you publish in some international journal, they accept the English one, then you need to have very good English. Otherwise, you can have different, if you publish in the local journals, national journals, they just ask for the just national language, local language, then you should have used written English or written language, not the spoken language in the scientific writing, right? So try to improve the paper before you submit to the journals. If you are not a native speakers, then you can ask for one who are native. And also, if you don't have, you can use the journal language editing services. And now they can offer that with different price from 100 to 500, depend on the length of the journals and the length of the manuscript, and also the companies, right, the journals, right? So even though language is not the big issue for the science, but if you don't write well, and if you cannot, we cannot understand what you write, what you've written in your manuscript, then of course we need to reject, right? So the editors and also reviewer probably will reject that. Very kind reviewer, just like me, and I will ask back, ask the editors, please, ask the author, send me the English version, because some of the author already, they mixed up some language. For example, I remember last year, there's one author, one papers, they wrote in two languages, I think Spanish and so English, and some part I didn't understand. So I asked the editor, and could you ask the author send me the English versions? If I'm not a good reviewer, I can just reject that paper. Okay, so if you are the author, be honest of the common error, the sentence construction, incorrect tense, and inaccurate grammar, and also mixing the languages. So mixing the languages here, you may ask me, what if I conduct a study in different country? And suddenly we, for example, for the survey, and you using the questionnaires. This questionnaire is in different language. And when I put them into the supplementary document, should I use only one language or different language? So in this case, you can add them into supplementary document. For example, the questionnaire you use, for example, you survey in 3-5 countries, and the questionnaire attached to the supplementary document should be in different language. That's fine. But in the main manuscript, only in one language. Okay. So the proper language should be used throughout the manuscript, even in the graph, charts, or pictures. Right, that is very important. Now, it's the last step is about ready to submit. And if you're not, you complete all of that, but you haven't checked on the requirements or structures or reference, figure, table, grammars, and also some English issues, you probably get rejected very easily. The rejection rate is about 10 to 90%. It depends on the journals. Okay? So be prepared and also follow and using the checklist and check to correct all of them. If you miss anything, you need to complete, right, before submit to the journal. All right. There's another also very important when you're writing a manuscript and also conducting your studies, especially in the medical and health science related. Then you need to follow the research ethics, and here's some guidelines that you should follow. For example, if you're conducting any research related to human, or some now they have some also ethical requirements for some animal study. Right? We need to have the ethical committee to review and approve our proposal, right? Our study. If you're conducting the research related to intervention, any clinical trial, vaccine, right now you will see that we're waiting for vaccine, and many companies, they already have products, but they cannot sell to us, right? We cannot get it because we need to go through many stages of clinical trials, right? At least 4 stages, and then you can get it. And then we have to follow the reports form for the clinical trials. And we need to follow the recommendation of International Committee for Medical Journals Editors for conducting, reporting, editing, and publishing the paper, right, in the medical and health related journals. And here's some guidelines that we need to follow. For example, consult is used for randomized trials, clinical trials. STOP is for the observational study. Prisma for systematic review meta-analysis for those who are doing that, and now many people doing this one. START for diagnostic study. Right. So this is many guidelines. I just list one of this here. And if you can take the pictures on your computer, you can look at that later on, or you can watch on the YouTube later, and you can just search for that. The most important one, I suggest to look at the Equator network over here, that they have the reporting guidelines for different types of study and many others.